In our Missing series this week, we are bringing you a case that has gained national and international attention. And it involves the disappearance of an 11-year-old girl from North Carolina named Madalina Kojikari. It has been almost 2 months since this little girl was last seen in public, just before Thanksgiving. But her mother and her stepfather waited 3 weeks to report her disappearance. What happened during those 3 weeks is a question that we still cannot answer. And we still don't know where Madalina is now. Derek Dellinger with our News Nation station in Charlotte has been looking into the case.
If there is new information out about the Madalina Kojikari case, police are not saying it. Most of what we've been able to get has specifically been from court records. But to get a full understanding of the case, you have to start at the beginning. Among the pixelated faces on this video is one that is clear as day. Madalina Kojikari is getting off a school bus. It's November 21st, just before Thanksgiving break, about 5 o'clock. This is the last time she was known to be seen by anyone else other than her mother and stepfather.
Christopher Kojikari,
both of which are now facing charges. Diana Kojikari and Christopher Palmer to this day in jail, but not for anything that specifically happened to Madalina. They eventually did report her missing, but in North Carolina, where this all happened, you have to do it in a timely manner. By the time they did report that Madalina had disappeared, it was 3 weeks later, and only after her school started asking questions on where she was.
I do remember her just playing alone, so I went to go play with her, and we just connected.
I'm just hoping so sincerely that we find this little girl.
Cornelius, North Carolina, where Madalina lived, is a town just north of the city of Charlotte. Located next to Lake Norman, it's a place that, even with high-dollar homes nearby, still feels like a small, tight-knit town. Neighbors, though, say the people living at this home largely kept to themselves.
I haven't seen Mom quite as much, but I have seen the stepfather out with the daughter just doing normal walks and bikes and stuff.
The school where Madalina went was the first to notice. She was due to be back after Thanksgiving break, but she never showed. Court records indicate that a counselor and school resource officer made attempts to reach her mother, and they even dropped by the home after Madalina had been absent for more than 10 days. Once they did get a hold of her mother, they told her to bring Madalina in. On December 15th, Diana Kojikari showed up at the school without her daughter, saying that Madalina had gone missing.
Missing 11-year-old girl from Cornelius.
Madalina Kojikari's family says both her stepfather, Christopher Palmer, and her mother, Diana Kojikari, were arrested. Investigators say they've conducted interviews across state lines.
The news started gaining traction. People in the community started to worry.
I pray for her safety. Bring her home, wherever she is, bring her home.
Cornelius police from the beginning have been on a desperate search to track her down. Neighborhood door knocks, working with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation and the FBI, even searching the waters of Lake Norman. But no sign of Madalina. But as time has gone on, more information on what police have been looking for has come out. When Christopher Palmer and Diana Kojikari eventually did go before a court on their charges, court records said that after the November 21st video, Madalina was still around, but according to the arrest sheets for both, there were conflicts on when both parents last saw her. Palmer said he last saw Madalina a week before she went missing. Diana Kojikari saying that she last saw her daughter on November 23rd, the same night her and her husband had an argument. One thing is for certain, though, after that date, no one saw her. Palmer reportedly took a brief trip to Michigan during that time, and during the time Madalina was last seen to the time that she was reported missing, Diana Kojikari reportedly took a trip to the mountains of western North Carolina. Not much is known about the specifics of either of those trips, but during the time Palmer and Diana Kojikari were together after Madalina went missing, they were reportedly asking the other where Madalina was. The arrest report for Diana Kojikari said that she had been urged to go to police by her family, but she didn't. Reportedly because she didn't want to cause any issues with her husband, despite saying that she feared for her family's safety.
It just seems so normal. It's just, nothing stands out, you know? So it's kind of the even more confusing part.
Records indicate that Palmer had lived in Michigan, but in North Carolina, the only real legal trouble that he seemed to have had was with traffic violations. Diana Kojikari, though, is from the Eastern European country of Moldova. She appeared in a YouTube series in Moldova back in 2014, where she talked having been married, divorced, and wanting to remarry, but needing to lose weight. A little girl identified as her daughter was also on that show, age 3. While she didn't identify that girl by name, that girl would now likely be 11, and likely is Madalina. In a later video, Diana Kojikari had a ring on her finger. Not much is known about the couple or their life with Madalina and Cornelius, but that is something that Cornelius police have been working to figure out. Search warrants recently released show from day one police wanted cell phone records and searches of the home where Madalina lived. We know what they were looking for. Cell phone search warrants say that they were looking for evidence of a kidnapping, text messages, call records, GPS locations. search warrants for the home looking for anything from documents to weapons to hairs, bodily fluids, or blood. One of those searches happened on December 21st. A list of things that they pulled from the home, redacted by a judge. And again, while we know what they were looking for, there's no indication that they found that evidence. Legal experts we spoke with say this is common to cast a wide net on a case specifically like this.
It appears that they don't have a clear indicator one way or another, certainly acknowledging the fact there are many things that remain confidential, but to cover all possibilities, you would certainly want to have a search warrant that was broad enough.
To this day, both Christopher Palmiter and Diana Kojikari only face one charge each: failure to report the disappearance of a child to law enforcement. It's a felony, and even with all the questions surrounding this case, police know Madalena's mother and stepfather know something, and they need to tell it.
This is a serious case of a child whose parents clearly are not telling us everything they know.
Cornelius police say they're still working to clear up any discrepancies in their timeline. In the meantime, Madalena is still officially considered missing. Marnie?